Welcome back, Rainmakers, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we have our special guest, Angel Mondragon. Again, that's going to be going over some technical analysis with us. Angel, how you doing?
All right, and you?
Good, good. How's this last week been? We haven't seen you on the channel for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I've been a little bit busy, but I'm excited. It's been reading the charts as always, obviously, every morning. Seems like a lot of stuff that we had talked about from the previous time turns out to be pretty accurate so far.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
It's promising for us.
Why don't we go ahead and get rolling?
All right. So do you want to start with Bitcoin?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so as always, I like to go on to the higher time frames, and if we have the data, obviously. And for the cryptos, I like to be in the logarithmic scale, just so you guys know if your chart doesn't look the same way as mine. And from there, we're just going to go on to the line chart. But we already had marked this up, so we'll just talk about it from here going forward. So on the weekly, so on the monthly, I still think that we have a lot of bullish momentum going forward. And if we just look at how many days, so it's 853 days between the last bull cycle and the end.
So are you talking from the very beginning of the bull market to the to when it came
Peaked.
down?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it peaked. Okay.
So we still have quite a bit of ways if we were going to use that same metric. Now, obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to mirror identically, but it's a pretty good metric for us to use.
So that would tell us we're what, halfway through?
We're halfway through, yeah. However, we're getting a lot more bullish momentum on this run, so we might hit that a little bit sooner. So maybe about right here.
Because we've had such a steep incline without very many pullbacks, then we might peak out early.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what it looks like, just from the momentum perspective, about close to a year left.
Okay.
So for us on this one, we already had broke through this critical area of structure. So if we go back to the weekly time frame, we could kind of analyze what's going on over here, and quick, let me zoom it in. And where is the line chart? So I just want to, once again, mark out those critical areas of structure relative to where price is at, or where it could potentially be going, because then we're going to use them when we're overlaying our Fibonacci's. So you could already see that we are testing this previous area of resistance, or this all-time high as resistance. So if we get a confirmation close on this weekly time frame, that's going to indicate that we are, in fact, treating this as resistance. But the only way we can confirm that is with a third test. So 1 initiates it, 2 tests it, and 3 confirms a piece of structure. So right now we're testing it currently as resistance, which is a promising for us because it means the price would come back down and give us a better opportunity for purchasing. Now, where would I want to buy in at? Assuming it does actually continue to go down with that bearish momentum, I would want to get in at this previous area of structure right here, which is at the, why is the mouse moving like that? At 45,000. And if we just take the fib and overlay it real quick and just see kind of where that aligns. Oops. We can see that's aligning with the 50% structure as well, or 50% fib, that area of structure. So two pieces of confluence aligning with this entry point for us. And so that's something that I would just be personally waiting for myself.
So somewhere to make a long, whether it's a leverage trade or a spot trade, it'd be waiting below what line, what price?
So if you're waiting to long it, I would be waiting for it to test and confirm that the 45,000 mark is going to be a new area of structure for us. So I'd be waiting for price to continue to reject this current area of 60,000, which it's doing currently, and come down towards this 45K mark, which is the next critical area of structure based on the weekly time frame.
Now, it would make sense that we actually trade sideways for a while.
Yeah.
Because we've gone up so much so fast, and unless we're going to break through where the other peaks have gone before, like the bigger line that you had pulled up. Otherwise, we're going to have a real short bull run, because if things keep going up so fast, it needs a lot of trading sideways. Otherwise, we peak out too early.
So something that I've discovered when I was trading Forex, and it transitions into cryptos and stocks as well, is 70% of the market is in a consolidation period. So that means it's just basically going sideways, which is good for us traders because we know how to come in and execute those sideways trades. But that means only 30% of the market is actually making major moves upward or downward. And it seems like that's going to be the same situation here with crypto as well. So hopefully we get some consolidation. However, we do have to take into consideration, at least here in America, I don't know where you guys are watching, we did get an injection of a lot of money into the market. So it seems like a lot of individuals might be using that to purchase some cryptos and stocks, which could drive price quickly.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So next is Ethereum. I talked about this one. We had a rising wedge on the daily time frame, and with those rising wedge patterns, we have a high probability of falling, and that's exactly what had happened. So now we're looking at an optimal entry point for us moving forward. So what I wanted to do is go onto the weekly time frame and see if we could identify anything promising here. And once again, we want to go into the line chart. Oops, clicked the wrong one, line chart. And as always, we're just going to get this line tool, and we're just going to overlay it to find the critical areas of structure relative to where price is at, or it could be potentially going. And then we throw on the candles again, and then we get our fibs. So nothing really lining up with the current areas of structure based on the weekly time frame. Now, if we were to go to daily, it might be a little bit different. The closest thing we have is this previous area of support, which aligned with the 61% fib. For me, that would be an optimal buying opportunity. Once again, we started rejecting that previous 127 extension that I had talked about earlier, and then we're starting to treat that as a resistance once again. So for me, once again, we're going to be looking like we're trading sideways on Ethereum as well, which is a promising thing for us because it gives us an opportunity to buy in at a better price point. So for me, I'm going to be looking at entering right here. And once again, we have those two take profit zones for us. So if you're trading, take profit would be one for you to take profit, or two, just identify whether or not you're going to see a reversal sign. But if you're investing, it doesn't necessarily matter. So that's what I'm looking at.
Can we take a look at some of the other ones we'd love to look at is Cardano. And they just announced that they're getting listed on Coinbase Pro. And so you saw this huge spike in Coinbase. The regular Coinbase usually follows after that.
Yeah. So for this one, I had actually done this on my channel yesterday, but let's see. Starting on the monthly time frame, and I was just trying to identify some critical areas of structure. Then I went down to the weekly because we didn't necessarily have too much data going off of it. Let's see, where's the victim? What I was saying is that we were touching already this 38% Fibonacci, and for me, on my strategy specifically, I need to have a touch of this 38% at a minimum before I look at buying opportunities for a trade. And if it does end up treating that 38 as support, which it looks like it's already doing, you can see based on this candle that we have a lot of bullish momentum pushing this wick into the body. And if that does happen, then our next target is actually going to be right here, which is $3.37 around there. So $3.30, and that'd be our take profit one. And because this is crypto and we're having a huge bull run with a lot of bullish momentum, take profit two would be around $6.80. So yeah, those are the 2 points right here. So if that 38% does get treated as support, which it seems like it is, especially on the smaller time frames, that's where that's where I would be looking at going.
So, and your best guess is that those prices could happen maybe in the next month or two, or maybe even longer than that, because we're on the weekly time frame here, right?
This is the monthly time frame, so this is about 3 months.
Okay.
To hit that take profit 2. So about 2 months to hit take profit 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
Just based on the momentum from the previous charts, but yeah.
Got it. So, hope you're loving this information, because this is golden. All right, so let's move on to DOT. Now, DOT's not going to have as much history to go off of. The monthly time frame is going to be really skimpy.
So we'll go on to the weekly. See if we
In fact, that's going to be one of the challenges of a lot of the ones we're going to be talking about is not tons of history on them.
So once again, line chart on the higher time frame. I prefer to just go as high as possible with the data that's available, just because the higher the time frame, the more accurate the analysis would be. And I think this one is touching the 38% as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So basically, same thing that's happening here. On my strategy, like I said, I have a minimum 38% retracement, and the only other thing to keep in mind is. We do have this 61% fib on this weekly time frame, and it's also touching this this structure. So if it does break this 31% threshold, this support zone, it's gonna likely come down and test this 60. Oh, sorry, 61. I'm at 88. Which would be problematic for us. But it'd be actually good because it'd give us a better opportunity to buy.
Yeah, so for people that are buying right now at current prices, it would be a bummer, but it would create some good pickups.
Yeah.
And it'd create...
And that's the whole point of dollar cost averaging, right? Averages out.
Yeah.
Hold on, I just want to get the target point for you guys. So, target point number 1 would be about $77. This is Tether, by the way. And people were asking me whether or not they should use Bitcoin or Tether whenever they're doing analysis. It doesn't necessarily matter. Just whatever you're using, use it consistently. Same thing goes with the exchange, because the exchanges have a little bit different charting per exchange. But anyways, so take profit 1 is going to be 76-ish, 77, and then take profit 2 will be around 140.
Nice.
So those would be some good target points for us.
And that would be possibly in 2 to 3 months, like what we were looking at for Cardano.
Yeah, 3-ish months, yeah, pretty much.
Awesome, awesome. This is great information. Not financial advice. These are just what the charts are saying is likely.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to happen, just likely to happen. But an event could take it higher or could take it lower. All right. I wanted to look at shadows now. We're not going to have a lot of history on this. It's DOWS.
Oh, yeah. Almost no data. Bullsh. So the only thing we can do is throw on a fib, which is likely touching the 38%.
That's basically the price it came out at. Got instantly bid up once it hit Uniswap.
So it's touching the 60%, 61% right here, and it seems to be treating that as support. And if it does end up continuing to treat that area as support, hold on, I want to mark this out. Oops. So if it does end up treating this area as support, this is where our target point could be, potentially. And this is going to be target 1 is around 0048, and target 2 would be 0088.
Okay. So many of us are hoping for a good pullback. We weren't able to get in on the pre-sale on this. We're looking for a good retracement, and we're hoping it would come under $2, and it almost did, and then it went up almost to $3. So I was hoping for some under $2 buys. The pre-sale price on this was like 12 cents.
We'll go to the 4 hour and see what's going on here. As far as a pullback, so we have this area of structure that needs to get broken if we want to see any type of pullback. back further. So, oh man, why? So we need to break through this area of structure right here and kind of come down and test it as resistance essentially. But that would give you an opportunity to get in at a lower price point. However, if it continues to treat this as support, which it seems like it's doing, it was previous resistance in the past, it's likely it could, you might have missed your opportunity to get in at a lower price point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, this is what I'm seeing.
Awesome. Oh, sorry. I've got a mouse over here too. I totally messed it up for you.
Cool.
Great. Let's go on to Wanchain, which has some things coming from some side development coming up. I mean, some of the Wanchain developers are involved in this, but, you know, I talked about what I could the other day in my videos related to WanSwap and some gamified NFT stuff coming out and yield farming. So it seems like some of that news got out because same day I heard about that, it went a little bit crazy and bumped up like 20%.
So same thing. We could go onto the weekly on this chart.
There might be ones with more history because there is history. Is that showing all the way back to 2018?
August.
There is history all the way back to 2018 on Wanchain.
Which one?
Might need a different. Not sure which exchange would have it.
I would assume Binance has the most history.
Okay. Sometimes it does. Sometimes they go on to. Qcoin might have a lot of times things will hit Huobi or Qcoin much earlier. Yeah.
So this is Bitcoin. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily matter. Just you want to use whatever you're using consistently.
Yuan versus Bitcoin. Does it have on Qcoin Yuan versus USD at all? Sometimes they don't get those trading pairs.
Ethereum. No.
Darn it. What about Huobi? Does Huobi have?
Bitcoin,
Looks like we
Ethereum.
might be looking at it Wanchain versus Bitcoin to do our analysis, which fair enough. I mean, the end goal is to get more Bitcoin anyway. This helps us evaluate how Wanchain will perform versus Bitcoin.
Okay, so let's see.
Boy, I love that kind of chart on something I'm interested in, though, because look at that long rounded bottom.
Yeah, it's promising.
You're right. That's like when it's gearing up. I talk about the rubber band, and that is like the rubber band being pulled like this. And it's got plenty of room ahead of it to sail as long as the fundamentals underneath it are good, and I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah, the fundamentals are important. Okay, so just marked it up. We'll go back to the line chart. And
the only downside with this is there's a lot of people that are waiting to exit because they've held for a long time when you see these big patterns. So sometimes when it hits the price they bought it at, they then dump. So that's the only downside to the chart that looks like this.
You know, it's saying that the actual bottom would be right here based on the extension. So the extensions aren't obviously accurate. They're just target points for us to use as metrics. So hopefully that's not the case.
And unfortunately, we're not able to look at this versus USDT with a big history because, I mean, that could absolutely happen if Bitcoin skyrocketed and all the alts pulled back, right? So Wanchain's price versus Bitcoin would actually suffer, and as well as almost all the alts would suffer. And so, I mean, it's a possibility when looking at this. Part of the reason I've held Bitcoin and also some altcoins is so that no matter if Bitcoin makes a massive run, then I get some gains from that I can then roll into altcoins. And
so this is an ideal. So obviously what we're doing right here, this is like, imagine we have an 8 ball. Obviously we don't know what the market's going to do, but assuming that we know what the market's going to do, we can predict that it's going to do something like this where it's going to touch the 61% fib and it's going to create a head and shoulders pattern coming back down to touch this previous area of structure as support and then breaking through the neckline and then going up and rallying from there. So this is, unfortunately, guys, this is not in a position where you can actually have a valid setup that's ready. So it has a lot of different possibilities that are in play. The only thing that I can see that would be relatively close to occurring would be touching that 61% and treating it potentially as resistance.
Why don't we look at it versus US dollar, even though we're going to have a lot shorter history. So if we go back to the Binance, I was hoping to be able to get a better history on this one.
Yeah, this would be better for me. Monthly. So same thing, we're going to just overlay our fib and see where it's touching. So it's getting close towards that 38% right here on that previous area of structure. Let's go down to the weekly and see if that's touching anything else. And that's also aligning with the 61% fib. So for me, I would be looking at a potential retracement towards the $6 level. And if that does happen to be the case, where would it go from here? So take profit 1 would be around $2.30, and then take profit 2 would be around $3.50. If that does happen to be the case, where it pulls back and retraces towards this area. Now, if we did miss that opportunity, where would it go from here based on the previous leg? If you did miss that buying opportunity, and it seems like it's pretty close. So it would say around $2 would be the next target point, and around $3.40 for the take profit too.
Nice. Let's look at one that a lot of us have been following. So the NFT and gaming, it seems like everything goes in cycles, even within the bull market. So a month and a half ago, it was DeFi, and everyone was looking at DeFi. Right now, it's gaming and NFT related, and they'll kind of go out of cycle too, and kind of trade sideways, and then maybe in 4, 5, 6 months, they'll have another major boom. But one of the major chains related to what's going on with NFTs is Omi, is a ticker symbol for Ecomi. Now, there's not going to be a lot of history on this, so we're looking.
This is OMG network.
Yeah, OMI. Is there anything on there?
Mm-mm.
Well, we might have to look at CoinGecko, where you can't look in very good, but if you pull up a window with CoinGecko on it, that's about probably the extent. OMI.
This one?
Yes, that one. And then just, you'll have to hit the full chart. That's just on a daily hit all.
Where am I seeing all?
Max.
Oh, max. That's good too.
Oh, yeah. I guess you gotta zoom in because it was out for a while and it did nothing for forever. And every one of you who bought in at that price, that is freaking amazing.
Yeah, you guys are
love
legends.
it that you hit out of the park with this one.
Talk about diamond hands.
Yeah, right. They did have to have diamond hands, especially if they bought it way early, right?
Yeah. Okay, so the next possible retracement, a major retracement, would be around, what is that, 003? 0003. So that'd be, assuming it like went down quite a bit, but where would it be at closer to where we are currently?
So have you followed this one at all with the Ecomi and their VV app? Angel?
I have
We've
not.
talked about it a lot on the channel. What is it? So they have these really
So that'd
cool
be the next. So you can see that it's starting to treat this 008 area as resistance.
Yeah.
So because of that, obviously we don't have candles to give a better story of what's happening. But the next area of support potentially would be around the 006 zone. And we already tested it once here. So I'm assuming if we come down, we can confirm that as support. And if we confirm that as support, that'd be a great opportunity for you to buy. Otherwise, it would probably go down towards that 003 zone as the next area of support.
And so we've been in the NFT upswing for a while, and what usually happens is that then the focus moves on to something else. It might go back to DeFi, it might focus on Bitcoin, it might focus on something else, Cardano or PolkaDot. and then kind of the focus moves off, and then a lot of people, they get bored and they sell. And remember, when it's boring, that often creates your best opportunities. When everyone's kind of moved on from it and forgot about it, and there's hardly any videos on it except my channel, because I like to talk about the things that are boring now that get exciting later, because you buy it, you know, when you are buying it when it's boring, that's when you do really good, which is, yeah, so then it's boring when you're buying it, but later gets really exciting, and you're like, oh my gosh, it just 5x'd.
Yeah, that's usually an indication. If there's FOMO happening, that means you're probably getting in at the top.
Yeah.
So it's better to buy when it's boring.
All right, let's take a look at the Flow blockchain. And I don't know what kind of history we're going to have on this. So they are the blockchain behind NBA
Is
Top
it
Shots.
FLO or FLOW?
FLOW should be it. Yeah, so this is not tons of history. But they're the blockchain behind the NBA Top Shots moments. They also got the, from my understanding, the UFC deal. And gosh, I would love it. Vivi has the NFL Players Association deal. I think that's different from the NFL license deal, that they possibly Flow could get the NFL license deal, because I love their moments, which will be really good for, say, UFC, but that would also be really good for football, right? How fun, and even soccer. And I know Chili's has a lot of the soccer deals. But I like the whole moments things they did with the NBA.
Oops. So basically what I'm seeing here is, assuming that we start treating this area as resistance, where we're at up here around the $41 mark, we can see a slight retracement towards this 50% fib, which is also weekly structure. And if that does happen to be an area of resistance, assuming it retraced to there, then we can see a target point being around, take profit 1, would be around 57. So assuming there's a retracement and you get in there, that would be giving you around 152%. And take profit 2 would be closer towards 95.
Nice.
So good target points.
Yeah, so when you're looking to make these swing trades, or even buying holds, you're looking for good buy opportunities.
Yeah.
So that you're not buying at the top. And unfortunately, when it is running way up, you don't know where the top is. So you wait to find out where the top is.
That's where
because
dollar
from
cost
there, it
averaging
always
is.
comes back. Yeah, or if it's a long-term one you're interested in, you can dollar cost average. I imagine during the bull run, a lot of these chains that are related to gaming stuff are going to do phenomenally well. I wouldn't not be surprised at all during the winter, the crypto winter, or the bear market, that they pull back some and create some amazing buying opportunities for the long run. Because the long run, if they keep these good license deals, it's going to be a big thing. Both Ecomi, which is the blockchain for Vivi, and then the Flow blockchain. Let's take a look at Enjin on that same note. That's ENJ.
All right, so weekly time frame.
Now, I bought a
this
whole bunch
candle
of
is
this
scary.
when it was boring. Yeah, you don't want to be buying at the top of that candle.
Yeah, so that's a reversal candle. Usually, it doesn't necessarily mean that. But so we're gonna go on to the line chart as always.
So I probably, thank you, I'm going to totally harvest more profits at that point.
Let's see.
I have taken some profits on the way up there. I was buying that, I don't remember if it was November or December, when nobody was talking about it again. And I was like, Enjin, everybody's forgotten about it. Let me look at the chart. Ooh, yes. Buy. That's when I like to buy, when everyone's kind of forgotten about it.
So let's throw on this fib real quick. So we'll throw on the fib on the monthly leg. And we can see the 88's aligning with this previous area of structure, which would be a huge fall if that does happen to be the case.
They've had some big falls before that they get overhyped, and then just people forget about them. Like, they have big news come that comes out, and people are like, and they buy a whole bunch, and then it retraces, and they just dump. And so Enjin's a great one to pick up when you see, those big dumps.
So if it does happen to dump at that area, where would the target point be? The next target point, because we see with this candle, that's an exhausted candle usually. So the next target point would be around TP1, $66.60 basically, and then TP2 would be $12.40.
So what would be the
13.
first loading zone and the second loading zone?
So the ultimate loading zone, assuming it actually makes a huge retracement, would be at the 46-cent mark. So yeah, that'd be the ultimate loading zone if it does happen.
So let's all pray that happens, and if it hits down there, that is a definite loading zone. And then the TP1 was what, $6 you said?
I don't know why this is not working. Why is that? Trading View is being weird with me. So the second loading zone, let's go to the daily real quick before, and we can look at structure here.
Okay.
So let's take the fib on this one and identify some critical areas of structure. So I would say the next loading zone, assuming it falls down, would be around the $1.50 mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
And right now it's trading at what, 250 still?
Yeah.
What's it at right now?
It's 225.
225. So $1.25, you're buying at half price.
Which is still pretty good.
Yeah, and then if it keeps falling down at 64 cents, that's like the load up the
Yeah,
car.
yeah. That's like sell your house and I'm just kidding.
So yeah, this kind of stuff often happens, and it's crazy, and I love it. You know, people go through these cycles, and there's so much, especially a lot of new people. Now, hopefully, if you're new, you're here and you're listening to this, because this is where new people go wrong, because you're just new at this, and you know, you see it dropping and you panic sell, but that's actually the time where the experienced people are waiting for to make their pickups, because will Enjin do well in the long term? Well, they're doing the right things that gives them the best chance to do well in the long run. You never know for sure if they'll continue making great decisions, but they're making the right partnerships and doing the right things that it could be absolutely huge in the long term, and the Enjin could be worth $100 way long term. Is that going to happen? We don't know. We're all watching. We're looking at good pickups, and we don't buy the huge green candles. In fact, you know, this is the selling zone for experienced people. The good time to buy was November and December when nothing was happening at it. And guess what? It will cycle, and people will forget about Enjin, and nothing will be happening with it again, and that's when your good pickups will happen.
Dang, this just had a huge run. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to take some more profits right after this.
Hold on. I want to see where, if we could use that as a marker. No, dang, it just exponential. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's getting a little bit tired in that the NFT run and craze has been fantastic and amazing and made some great profits. For many of my followers, you've told me in the comments that you've done phenomenal on it. Might be a good time to take some profits, get your initial amounts back out. And this isn't financial advice. This is just what I do as an investor. So that, you know, because even if I love the project, a lot of times I'll do that just to hedge my risk.
What's the next one?
Let's look at, I want to look at Orion.
Oh, we did this one already.
I love this one, yep. And so it's had a big run. I want to know where the retracement point is from you. I have my own calculations, but I want to hear what you say on it, because I'm looking for more good pickups on this, because you can buy this and then you can throw it in and stake it on KuCoin site at 20%. Now, if you don't have a KuCoin login, use the login link below in the description. You'll find one there, and it's a referral link. But if you create a KuCoin login there, KuCoin has some of the best tokens before they hit Binance and way before they hit Coinbase. They also have staking right on their site. So on some of the things that you're buying, you can go ahead and stake them right on KuCoin site, which is convenient.
So the next loading zone, oh, what the heck, man. Trading View's being weird with me. So the next loading zone would be this 38% retracement, which would be...
Under what price?
That'd be 1360, 1350.
Okay.
And so if that does get treated as support, and that does end up being a loading zone, the take profit would be around 45.30, and take profit 2 would be around 88. Yeah, 88.30. Now, if it does break that area of structure, the next area of support that we can see is down here at this 88 zone, which is in dollars, $4.20.
If it hits back there, that is, for me, find ways to buy as much as I can. I'm not selling any that I don't know. I'm tempted at this price to take some profits. I started buying this around $6. I do like this one because it's real convenient just to be able to stake it on the site and keep growing my amount. And the staking returns are fantastic at 20+%. But it's run up so high so fast. It just seems like we're looking at so much that has run up so high so fast. In my mind, where it's going, Angel, is pullback.
Yeah, pullback.
Pullbacks, and they just happen even in a bull market. So we're looking at all these things, and we're looking at these huge green candles. This is take short-term profits. Now, one of the challenges of taking short-term profits is in certain countries, they have a different rate for long-term capital gains versus short-term capital gains. So one of the downsides of not just holding for long-term is you could put yourself in a much higher tax bracket rate, depending on, if you're taking profits and then you're trading so much, that's all long or short-term capital gains versus just holding for at least 12 months for long-term capital gains. So you've got to weigh that out yourself and between you and your accountant.
So this one, real quick, I want to say, if we do start seeing some sideways action, it's kind of aligning with this ascending trend line as well. So that would be ideal. However, if it does drop, it would still kind of align with this trend line as well. Okay. But this one seems a little bit more accurate, trading sideways, creating this ascending pennant pattern, and then breaking out to the upside.
And I can't see the numbers where your red zone is there, the loading zone.
So this is the red zone is actually your stop loss.
Just above that, I mean.
Oh, okay. That's going to be $12. So basically 13.
Okay.
13, yeah. So that's that.
Nice. I'm going to move over some Bitcoin for purchasing more alts when I see good entries. But I suspect Bitcoin's been trading sideways for a while and that it's due for a run. And some of the alts will suffer versus Bitcoin. And then the alts, I think, will continue. That's just my best guess.
Bitcoin seems like it still has some legs, though. At least to get up towards the 75 is what I was looking at on my chart before it starts doing some sideways stuff.
Yeah, it's been trading sideways for a while, right? So really since, when was that? Was it December 31st? It hit a big marker, and then all the altcoins started to run versus Bitcoin. In fact, we've been having a lot of alt season run, and we're probably not at the final alt season of the cycle. When we see that, you'll see sometimes things 10xing, 20xing in a day, and not just the brand new coins that barely hit the market. That doesn't count. Those will often 10x or so. We're talking about stuff that you've had around for forever that you could have bought, and all of a sudden that 10x's in a day. So let's take a look at Icon. Speaking of ones, Icon was one of the biggest performers back in 2017, 2018.
Well, we are touching some previous all-time highs. Let's see. Let's go to the line chart. We're on the monthly on this one, by the way.
So it's touching all-time highs from what it shows there. I don't know if that is the actual... It might have been even higher. They just didn't have it available on that.
Which, yeah, could have been the case, yeah.
On Binance.
So that's pretty much. And then we go to the line, or the candles again, and what we're going to do is just overlay those fibs. See if there's anything that's aligning.
Make some quick flips on Icon. I'm looking at all those green candles like, man, I should have held on to some of it.
So that's the thing, trading sometimes you kick yourself in the butt.
I know,
you gotta time it properly.
Your take profit zone 1.
That's why I like looking
zone 2, and then it keeps running, and you're like, oh, okay.
That's why I like these higher time frames, because it eliminates a lot of people from using their intuition or just overreacting, like from fear and greed. These higher time frames, because it moves so slowly, you're more likely to stay inside the trade.
So on a day-to-day basis, which is funny, how fast crypto moves. that if we don't have the longer term perspective, we can get scared out of what's
Yeah.
actually a really good position, or we might run into a really bad position because what we've seen on a daily time frame versus looking back at the monthly.
So this one, basically what's saying is the 38% is lining up with some previous structure. Now, if we go to the weekly time frame, we might see something else occurring, lining up with these fibs. Let me delete this actually. But you can see that we're getting that consolidation kind of right here. It's building this pattern, from my perspective, this ascending pennant pattern, which is a good indication that it's likely going to make another push upward. So if it does do that, the next target point would be for TP1 around $4.80 or 90 cents, and then TP2 would be around $9.65. So assuming it treats this 35% area as support. So this has two pieces of confluence for us as far as entering a trade. We have this 38% fib, and then we also have that previous area structure, which was a significant area structure, which is close to the all-time high. And third piece, I guess we'd have to wait a little bit longer, but we do have this pattern formation right here based on the candles on the weekly time frame as well. Give us an indication that we are likely going to see another push upward. So that's three pieces of confluence that it is treating this area as support, but we do need to wait for a confirmation essentially.
Awesome. All right, let's look at Injective. This is one that I like.
What's the ticker?
INJ. And it's a derivatives platform.
So weekly probably better for us. Line chart. Mark it up with some lines. And then back to the candles and throw on our fibs. So once again, this is lining up with our 50, this previous area of structure right here. And it seems like we're starting to get exhausted as far as this bear market or this bear push momentum. So aligning with that 50 seems a little bit more reasonable. However, it is touching that 38% fib as well. So we'd have to just wait on a confirmation candle.
See if it's going to break higher.
Yeah. So if it does break this 38%, it's likely just going to come back down towards this 50 and start testing this as support. But for me personally, I'd be more inclined to see it come down towards that $9 mark and make a purchase from there. Now, if it does end up treating that area as support, the first target point is going to be $28.95, so basically 30, and then the second target point would be around 51.
Awesome. Let's see what we got. That's a lot of one of the ones I want to look at. Did we look at Zilliqa yet? I know a lot of my followers very bullish on Zilliqa, and I like it. I've made some money on it, and I guess we should look at Theta as well. But let's look ZIL.
So this one, I had said that it was likely going to touch this area. I don't know when the last time I talked about this.
It was like 2.5 weeks ago.
This is February. Oh, okay. Well, it was pretty close. It touched it, and it started bouncing up. And we said that the next target point was going to be, assuming that this area was not resistance, the next target point would be 26. And it seems like it's pretty close
It's falling
towards
right
that.
in line with
Yeah.
what you said.
So it was relatively close. And like I said, whenever we're talking about these entry zones, don't get fixated on the number itself. So don't get fixated on a finite number. Just look at it as a zone. So just a relative zone towards that area. And that's where I would go onto the 4-hour time frame or even the hour time frame and just see some type of patterns, see if it's treating it as support, and then I would make an entry. So don't get fixated on a particular number, because look at, if I said 76 and you can see that candle barely touched that area, if you were fixated on a number, you would have missed the entry.
Nice. Let's take a look at Theta. And I know a lot of people, they make fun of me because I sold out of Theta. I bought a ton at 7 cents. And I sold it at 14 cents as my take profit 1 zone. And my take profit 2 zone was 21 cents. And I was supposed to just sell half at that point. But I said, no, there's going to be a huge retrace. And there actually was. I just missed my buyback in. And so then I've since watched it go. What's it at like now? It's crazy.
$7.
It just happens, right? So it's okay. I mean, it's a good problem to have that I only doubled and tripled my money depending on which point I was taking some of it out. But it's totally 100x from that point, which cracks me up. And those that were making fun of me when I covered this 2 months ago and said, "Are you going to buy back in?" I said, "No, I'm not seeing a good re-entry." Yeah, and looking back, I can say, man, I still would have like tripled, or I think I would have 3 to 5x the money if I had bought in. But also the stuff I bought during that time has 3 to 5x. So, I don't chase boats that I've already missed, and
Yeah.
I missed this one. Now, during the bear market, if we're so lucky, this will come back to some really good buying zones, and now. Theta's probably not done during this bull market. Maybe at some point it trades sideways, but it'll have some more very good runs, is my guess, because they're one of the most substantive companies out there in the crypto sphere.
Yeah. Well, you could beat yourself in the butt for selling this. I had a lot of Bitcoin. I sold it at like 3,000, 4,000. And I was like, I'm a genius. I made so much profit. I'm a genius, huh?
I know, right? Hindsight's perfect, right?
Yeah.
They're still waiting on those actual working crystal balls to come in from Amazon. They just have never come in.
Yeah, me too. It's crazy. So, hold on. This one is a little bit difficult because it seems like it still has a lot of bullish momentum. So we can't really see whether or not there's a reversal zone. And even I'm trying to look at these smaller time frames to get a reference point on where the actual reversal point might be, but it just keeps blowing past all those extensions.
It's because the community gets such good staking rewards with T-Fuel. Like, they buy and they don't sell.
Yeah, I mean, they're just
so
blowing past.
You see that in the candles, right? They buy and they're just like, they just then buy more. And you saw, another one that did this exact same thing was Chainlink. Now, the only downside with Chainlink with that, though, is there were some big whales that held like 90% of it. And so when those whales start selling, the price can dump very, very quickly.
So based on the daily time frame, finally we got some sort of projection for us as far as a reversal that's above where price is currently at. So a potential once again reversal based on the Fibonacci extension on the daily time frame is saying that we might be seeing a peak around $8.90 to $9 essentially. So that might be an area where we start seeing some potential resistance. However, with this candle formation right here, it's looking like, especially if we throw on this fib, that we're touching that 38 again, and we have this bullish pattern forming right here. So we might blow past this extension as well. So this one, unfortunately, we don't want to just predict. We can make up an idea of where we think it would go, but the data isn't there for us to make an actual educated decision.
It would lead to just really, really big guesses.
Yeah. So I mean, I could just say we could reverse from here and come back down as an entry point towards $1.84 and go up towards 1674.
Speaking of guesses, some of my subscribers have made some good money on Bepro. Now, we're not going to have a lot of history on it. We might have to quote a CoinGecko on it.
Let's probably just do that instead.
Because...
What is it?
Bepro. Now, funny enough, it's about prediction markets anyway, which is betting basically. And some people were betting on this. And this one's a hard one to get a lot of details on. The best thing I found was that the CEO went on with another YouTuber and did an Ask Me Anything interview. And that interview was some of the best research I found. But I like to find a lot more fundamental research than what I've seen on this. And the site itself doesn't tell you a lot. There aren't a lot of Medium articles. I did hear that there's a lot on their Twitter. I haven't checked out their Twitter. So if you're looking for further research on there, I hear it's good. I haven't yet looked at it. But I did buy some of this. And, it's gone crazy with the whole... in the last month with a lot of the things related to gaming and NFTs that have.
So yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how I would be able to analyze this.
That's just...
Is this it?
No. BE. PRO. There we go.
Okay, Bepro. That makes more sense. in here. Okay, so
That's just showing you the 24-hour. I
is
hate
it?
that CoinGecko goes to the 24-hour right away, so you might have to look at like a 90-day because it did nothing for so long and now it's gone. Crazy. Looks like a nice.
So basically, we already started treating this 0.25 as support, which is a positive thing for us, and we broke past this previous area of structure so far. Obviously, I can't tell because I don't know if it closed above that or not. I don't know if it's moving.
Oh, I'm sorry if I bumped the mouse.
So right now we're at the 0.3 mark, and if it did break above that, I can't tell because the candle, it's not a candle, it's a line chart. But if we did break above that and we're testing that area as support, then the next zone for us to go up towards and test essentially would be this previous all-time high. So basically right now a buying opportunity would be to get in around this 0.3 mark, assuming that it is treated as support and it's confirmed, and then just wait for the next all-time high to be tested. And then from there, you can determine whether or not it's going to see some signs of reversal, take profit, and then wait for another retracement, or move your trade to break even and then just let it run.
Awesome.
Cool.
So I wanted to point out a couple things. So technical analysis helps you analyze just what the chart is telling you. And what's funny is the chart often aligns with fundamental analysis, but sometimes you can't get the fundamentals, and all you have to look at is the chart. When I saw the chart, that's why I bought. Like, honestly, not still satisfied with what I understand about the project, but the chart was screaming at me goodbye from the technical analysis standpoint. And so I did, and it's worked out pretty well. So that's why spending a little bit of time growing your technical analysis understanding really helps you become better at trading. With that, Angel, you did finally start your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll put a link in the description to his YouTube channel so you can follow him because you've been posting pretty regularly on that. What have you been posting about?
Just cryptos for the most part, about 3 videos a day on cryptos. And then every Sunday I'm going to be doing just a market analysis summary of all the videos that I'm looking at for the next coming weeks, or so all the trades that I'm looking at for the following week.
So if you really want to grow your technical analysis side, you definitely want to take a look at Angel and just follow how he reads the charts, how he looks at them. He's been doing this for
6 years, close to 6 years in June.
Yeah, in fact, he's trained many traders that he had working for him, and so yeah, he's been trading Forex, stocks, and cryptocurrencies. And their charts, the patterns are similar because human behavior is similar. And so that the only reason technical analysis works is because humans follow certain patterns. And so when charts do certain things, humans tend to react certain ways. And so all the bots are also programmed based on how humans react. And so it further makes it happen because the bots are set up when certain things then happen and humans are showing certain patterns, then the bots then trade off of that and further push the pattern in the direction that was already going.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened here. So we hit that 2K mark, and then Ethereum just crashed down. And from my perspective as a computer science individual who also builds bots as well, that's probably what happened. So like he was talking about, the trader psychology is implemented inside bots as well. So it's really important for you guys to understand a lot of these foundational components of trading, because then you can actually be ahead of the market.
Now, he does have the beginning thing, or we were going to give you a free thing that we'll have a link to soon. We're just translating it from Portuguese because he spends half his year in Brazil, and also speaks Portuguese, so he has it written out in Portuguese, and so I'm going to translate it all to English, and then we'll have a free one, and then we'll have some things that the cost will keep pretty low for training videos and other information.
So the free stuff is going to be really important because if you're new to trading, I think understanding trader psychology is extremely important. So mastering the main emotions, which is fear and greed, essentially. If you can master those by mastering, which is I think the most important thing, is risk management, you're going to be able to, even with a losing strategy, still make profit. So for a lot of these trades that I'm looking at, for this one as an example, it's a 1-to-6 risk reward ratio. The reason why I rather miss an opportunity than force a trade is because with these good risk reward parameters, I personally can have a losing strategy but still be profitable. Now with these type of risk parameters, you could be losing around 80% of your trades but still be making good money. So that's why I think risk management is extremely important, and it prevents a lot of people from YOLOing their money into things that they don't understand and end up losing it all. And it also strips away those fears of maybe you over leveraged a particular trade and you're constantly staring at the screen, and as a result you're exiting when you should be buying more, or you're taking out your profit when you should just be letting it run its course and go towards its profit zone. So understanding risk management, which I think is the most critical component for trading, is something that we're going to be talking about in this free course, and then from there it's going to help you with this trader psychology as well.
Awesome, awesome. So we'll put a link to Angel's channel down below so you can check him out. And I do want to thank you for joining us today.
I appreciate it, and hopefully I see you guys on Sunday and next week as well.
All right.
All right, see ya.
See y'all next time.